I hope this is good enough.
Hey,
Yeah.
We can see your face.
I don't have any power, so, just vibing in the car. At least it's
Damn,
warm in here.
what happened? Did another, just like Nashville lost its power because someone bombed the AT&T building? Did that happen in New Jersey?
I don't think that happened. I think just, I don't know. It looks like just my street is out, I guess, so
Interesting.
who knows?
Damn.
Yeah.
I just hope it's back in the morning because I left this morning and it was off, so oh my God. Yeah, you got to see. I'll show you my setup. Could I reverse the camera here?
Yeah.
This is my little setup right here. I Coke and a lean. So we're hanging on. We're hanging on. We're praying here.
we appreciate the effort, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
100%.
100%.
But so this is not even really like an interview. We can talk about whatever. We're definitely going to cover the best metal music of 2020, and any other questions you want to bring up, anything you want to talk about, we can. We're going to probably try to stay away from like controversial stuff. I know you really want to talk about QAnon, but like we're gonna give people a break on stuff with this podcast.
I'm more of a WAnon kind of guy myself.
Yeah. So what's it like to not have to pump your own gas?
It makes going to other states really stressful.
Okay,
like
so
my
oh, there you go.
No, my girlfriend and I went to, where'd we go? We went to Maine in like September, I think. And we're two Jersey people and we're going, and I hate pumping gas anyway, but then it's like coronavirus and I'm like, fuck, how many people touched this thing today? Let me get the gloves on and
I feel So if someone from outside Jersey comes to Jersey, do we have the option to pump our own gas, or are they like, no, don't touch it?
I think it depends on the place. Like, I know one of the things that like a lot of people think that's like a bit of a misconception, because I have like some friends from school that like came from Boston and stuff, and they'll be like, I hate getting gas here because you have to tip the gas station attendant. I'm like, no, you don't. I've never tipped a gas station attendant in my life. Like you just kind of go, they walk up to you, you're like, hey, fill it up regular or whatever. But I'm sure like I've seen people, probably from people that are like out of state, that are like standing next to the machine and stuff, just I don't know, supervising in their own mind. But no, it's just, I just hang.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so I think I would like to start out by everyone going around. I want to hear your favorite album of 2020, as well as just like your top 3, top 5, the ones you just have to mention.
Okay.
Alex, you kick us off. Go for it.
Starting with me? Okay.
Yeah.
My number 1 is the same as it was the first time I was here, and that was Omerta's Hyperviolence.
Ooh.
And that is a cool, like, the singer in my band showed them to me, and it was like, he always sends me like a bunch of Bandcamp links to bands, and I'm just like, I don't feel like listening to this right now. But I listened to that one, and I was like, this is fucking sick. It's like, when I showed it to more of my friends, I'm like, this is, if you like the first Slipknot album, Linkin Park, Vane, and just aggro depression, this album is amazing. It's like, it's definitely, I don't know. The reason why I have it as my favorite is because it was one of the only albums all year since I heard it. I was just like, I need to listen to this again. And it's only like 17 minutes long. So it's like, I drive to work, I have to listen to the whole thing. Just, it was a perfect album for me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And my other 2, I guess my honorable mentions, Deftones. The biggest shock of my life was that a local band from like Texas beat one of my favorite bands of all time. And Acacia Strain, they killed it. And I don't know who else there is. Shout out to Melted Bodies.
Yeah,
solid,
dude. I sympathize with your friend who sends you Bandcamp links. I send shit to Connor all the time, and then in like 2 weeks he'll come to me and be like, dude, have you heard this song? And I'll be like, yeah, I sent it to you like a month ago. Yeah.
Yep. Well, he does that same thing with me, though. He'll be like, he texted me today. He was like, bro, I just found this band called Cryptopsy. Crazy. I'm like, dude, I've been listening to Cryptopsy since I was like 11. Like, what do you mean you just found this 30-year-old band?
Yeah. Connor, why don't you give us an opinion on great albums?
All right, man. So I've got 4, and over the last couple weeks, I was just like trying to pick a favorite out of these. So I'll give you my 4 first, then I'll give you the tiered list.
Okay.
So we got Alpha Wolf, A Quiet Place to Die. We got Loathe, I Let It In, and It Took Everything. We got Poppy, I Disagree.
Yep.
Have Code Orange, Underneath.
Okay.
And so all of these came out in, well, actually, the interesting thing is over the last year, I listened to these like in 4 quarters of the year. So
Okay.
like Poppy just jamming it for the first couple months of the year. After that, Code Orange a couple months. And then I actually listened to the Loathe album right when it came out. And I guess I just wasn't paying that much attention to it and just kind of, oh, whatever. And then like later in the summer, started listening again. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then this, I guess there's maybe a little break, but this last like December, just absolutely jamming Alpha Wolf. And
Okay.
my answer of the favorite album, it has nothing to do with the fact, it really doesn't have anything to do with
No.
the fact that we just interviewed Alpha Wolf. But
Okay.
so that was obviously awesome. We interviewed the drummer of Alpha Wolf last week.
Nice.
But Alpha Wolf comes in as my favorite just because I think it had the best replay value. After Poppy and Code Orange, after listening to it just so much, going back and listening to it, it just doesn't have that same punch.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Alpha Wolf, Code Orange, Loathe, Poppy.
I have to admit, I didn't hear the Alpha Wolf album, so I guess I'll have to check that out.
Dude, you
What's it
got
like?
to.
It sounds like, just by the name alone, it sounds like a thrashy kind of thing. Is that accurate?
So it's definitely like metalcore, but
Okay.
it's riding this wave of like newer metalcore. Like I think like new metalcore is what a lot of people are calling it. So there's like some old like Slipknot influence. There's a lot of groove to it, and then it also has like a lot of like almost Vane like frenetic energy, but with those like really fat genty guitars. You just gotta listen to it. It's a really well put together, really coherent, and also like really vicious listening experience. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Then I definitely recommend you guys check out that Omerta record then, because
dude.
minus the genty stuff, that's basically it. Like they sound like a more hardcore punk rock raw version of that. Not in terms of like music, but in like attitude.
Yeah.
Loathe, I didn't listen to it in full because aren't they like a really, really heavy band?
Yeah.
Like a couple years ago, didn't they release like a heavy fucking album?
Yes.
And then I remember this was like 2 weeks ago. My girlfriend had this, Spotify, you could go to an artist radio. It was this artist. And I said, Loathe is on here. Aren't they that fucking like devastatingly heavy band? And I was like, I don't know if this fits the vibe, but we put it on anyway. I was like, this is a Deftones song. Like what? Like this is crazy. So I'm definitely interested in checking that one out yet. I just haven't taken the leap yet, but I remember when they released an album like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. So the Loathe record is my favorite record of the year. And I didn't think I was going to like it when I heard the first single because Two-Way Mirror basically is a Deftones song. And it was good, but like I didn't think I was going to get into it that much. But the whole album is like an even marriage between like, fucking a droppy on a baritone guitar and just like absolutely vicious screams and riffs and stuff, and then shoegaze elements as like the basis of everything. And there's like one
that sounds
song
amazing.
It's fantastic. My favorite song on the record, which has like a whole paragraph for its title, opens up with like a solid minute of like old school black metal stuff where the guy is just screeching over like indiscernible guitars playing tremolo riffs. So it really is like a special listening experience, and I don't know what else I can say about it except for that I think that due to this band alone, all of us are going to be playing baritone guitars in like half a decade.
The Spirit Box band.
Oh
man,
like the remnants of I Wrestle the Bear once band.
Yeah,
I feel like that them, and I don't know Spirit Box too well. I know like their last 2 singles, like the pretty one, and then just the disgusting one.
Yeah, exactly.
And like even the pretty one has like those disgustingly low baritone guitars. So I feel like those two bands, like when shows become a thing, I could see those two kind of like touring together and kind of riding that gross pretty wave.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love to see a tour that is Spirit Box, Loathe, and Sleep Token all on a ticket together.
And the Deftones headline.
Yeah, that goes
that
together.
Would be it. That would be it.
Isn't their guitarist playing like a 10-string now? Like
he has on the new album. There was a 9-string.
Okay.
And it wasn't what I was expecting, because the Deftones are like top 5-10 bands for me. Like I love them so fucking much. And like when I hear like Stephen Carpenter's using a 9-string on this new album, I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be genty as hell. But instead, it was much more of just like a low, just sort of drony thing, and it was so sick. It was only in one song that I could like pick out.
Yeah,
on the new
absolutely. Album. And just about Spirit Box, I want to point out that like Spirit Box is weird because I like retroactively came to love that band. Like I had heard some of their earlier music, like Rule of Nines and stuff, and I thought it was fine, but I just like really didn't get into it. And then fucking Holy Roller came out, and all of a sudden, like every song is just a serotonin hit.
No,
so I
think that song. Heard,
go on.
I haven't heard anything other than Holy Roller, and I think it's called Constance. Is that the other song? Yeah. Those are the only two I know by them, so I definitely need to like look back on like because they have a full length, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so I'll definitely check that out eventually.
Yeah.
Chris, what were your honorable mentions?
I mean, pretty similar to yours, honestly. I always have a hard time recalling this shit like just right off the top of my head. Yeah. Obviously, Alpha Wolf was a really good record, but that's a popular opinion to have. I'm trying to find some deep cuts. I have one for you. Danzig sings Elvis, right, Alex?
That's definitely an album.
that is definitely.
That was an album.
Yeah, that's a thing that exists. And I will use that tangent to say that, like, man, have you heard Isan's new EP, the guy from Emperor?
No.
Okay, so he has a song on there where he covers a Lenny Kravitz song on there. Okay. And it's god awful. It's terrible in my opinion. And so I just, after the Danzig thing and the Isan thing, like if anybody ever covers like an old rock and roll song and it's just way out of their genre, I'm just not even going to try it. I'm giving up.
There's like, well, I did on my channel, I did every 6 Feet Under album, which was like kill me. Like that was a rough week of listening to 6 Feet Under. And they have those like cover albums that are just, who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Like, let's get 6 Feet Under to cover all of Back in Black. Who was like, let's do it? Brian Slagle said, let's print it. Let's do it. Like, how?
Yeah, I have no idea, man. Also, Connor, your audio is like super quiet.
Yeah, and I don't have him on video either.
Oh,
yeah.
You're having some technical difficulties, man.
No.
Hello, can you hear me?
Just
barely.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let me try some new headphones. You guys keep
talking. Okay. Yeah, so since the last time we spoke, Alex, System of a Down came out with music.
Yes.
Like somehow that happened. I know you did a review for those tracks, but what are your thoughts on System of a Down making music like a decade and a half later?
I will say in that review, it was definitely a lot of hype behind it. So like it was a lot of that was me just being very excited that like, oh my God, it's midnight and System of a Down has 2 new songs.
Yeah.
But you could tell, like they've said it, that those 2 songs were really Scars on Broadway songs. So you could kind of really tell, like they did it more for the activism standpoint rather than like, hey guys, let's get the band back together kind of thing. Yeah. But either way, like they're still great fucking songs. Like I love Scars on Broadway. It's literally just sounds like System of a Down without Surge. So this is System of a Down with Surge. So it's, But they were
Yeah.
cool. I remember, what was the song? Genocidal Humanoids.
Yeah.
That song was really cool, and the other one was Protect the Land. That one was a little kind of
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, I really haven't listened to them since like a week after they came out. So it was like a cool big blast of hype.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. I mean, I think I have a similar relationship with those songs that I do with the last Tool record, just in that it's not that they're bad. In fact, I would say that it's actually good, but it's like, I don't know, it's like they just checked a box. It's like, all right, guys, we did it. It's been over a decade, but we did it.
Well, my thing with the Tool album was that I really liked that album.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spend 10 minutes to listen to a Tool song, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to spend 3 minutes of them jamming to get to the Tool song, you know? Like, like, if they just kind of if this was the song and they went like this with it, it would have been a great album.
Oh,
if
yeah.
it was like, if it was,
absolutely.
It's like 50 minutes instead of 80.
Yeah. Like, I the back half of the song Descending is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But you have to sit through like 4 minutes of Danny Carey like coming up with every possible drum fill to get there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I remember when I saw them live, they were like, "Hey guys, we're gonna play a new song," and then they started jamming, and then it turned into a song. So live, you just think like they're jamming, like that's like
Yeah.
But then you get the record, and you're like, "Oh, that was the song." We have 4 more minutes to go of bongos and some weird bass and Maynard speaking some shit.
Yeah.
But like Invincible, that was a great song. What was the other one? Numa. Those 2 songs are really, really good. I like those ones a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Connor, if you're trying to speak, you are completely silent.
Yes. This is going very well. I'm in my back seat. Connor is somewhere.
He is somewhere. I don't even know if you can see him, but he's not even on camera anymore.
No, my camera hasn't. My thing hasn't moved from you.
All right. Well. Anyway, so how does it feel to have your channel almost at 1,000 subs, dude?
It's cool. I'm January's like a weird month because all of the records that I care about come out on this Friday. So there's I've been trying to spend like half of December until like then just making like filler shit. Like what am I doing? I'm doing vinyl videos. I'm doing grunge videos. I'm doing my top records of every year I've been alive. Like, just like let me get content out until Friday. There's 4 albums coming out Friday that I want to review. So that's going to be intense. Lots of intense listening on that probably 3 days afterwards.
Yeah, man.
Like,
yeah, dude, what is your album review work ethic like? Because as soon as I got a new job, I had to bail on that.
Well, the good thing about my job is I could listen to music while I do it.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of it is that. Like, if I'm working 8 hours and an album's 35 minutes long, I can listen to it like 16 times. That's why, like, when albums suck, I'm really upset about it, and I think you could tell that, like, in my reviews. Like, I'm really mad that I had to listen to this album all day, Yeah. But it's usually, like, I like to get one out Friday. Like, I'd like to get to the point where I don't have to release a review the day that it comes out in order to get, like, a certain amount of reviews, or views and, I guess, engagement. Because, like, if an album comes out Friday and I wait till Monday to review it, there's already 800 reviews out for it. Like, there's already, like, I want to do the new Accept record. There's already, like, 5 reviews of the new Accept record. So, like, I'm like, I got to do that Friday. But then the new Weezer album comes out on Friday. So I got to do that. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a lot. I just try to listen as much as I can.
Yeah. So Connor now has a microphone in his hand, and it is not working. He has like an actual drumstick mic in his hand. He's still silent.
Could he like just sign out and then come back in, or has he tried that?
He's the like the mediator of this meeting. Like this is his meeting.
Oh.
So if Connor leaves, we leave with him.
Shit.
Yeah. Connor, can you just like try to talk into your phone? He's doing something. Yeah. So you're in audio production as a vocation, right?
Yeah.
How's that going?
I just got back today, parked my car, and here I am from from doing a session. But I got this new project I'm doing, so we're tracking for that. So it's going well. I'm doing stuff with some artists and like a deathcore band and this like country pop artist from around here. So it's going well. It's just, coronavirus really like hurt because like a lot of like that goes from like networking and local music and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can't go to shows every weekend and, can't like be like, hey guys, you want to make a record? You can't, there's really nothing like, so it's weird. It's
absolutely.
It's a lot of just kind of trying to get stuff going on and everything. And like, obviously still needing I hear noise. Is that Connor?
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
should be.
Oh,
so there are now two Connors. There's the one that's actually controlling the meeting, and then his audio is coming through his phone, which is signed in as another person.
Yep, here we go. I'm back.
oh, there he is. I see him now.
Yeah. All right.
Sick.
What I have to add to everything that's been said so far is, yep.
Sick.
I did want to ask about Alex's audio production and like as your job.
Well, it's like freelance stuff at this point. Like I don't have like, it's not like my job, it's something I love to do. And I want to do more and eventually have it turn into like a job kind of thing. It's just, it's a lot of work and a lot of it comes from like doing internships and stuff. And where I am right now financially with like student loans and all that fun stuff, it's not really, I guess, good is the word to like, I can't dedicate 5 days a week to going to a studio that's an hour and a half away and working for free. You know what I mean? Like I would love to. I'm not complaining. I'm not, I guess, excusing. It's just I literally cannot do that right now. So it's a lot of me helping out my other friends that can do like internships and stuff and a lot of that stuff and doing connections from there. But like I said, I've been doing my band's new thing, the new Kong single I'm going to be doing. And a lot of it's just experience and like getting music out there and having like a portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what Kong's got working up? Because I think me and Chris both agree that Kong is one of the best local bands we talked to over the last year. We were seriously just like, we're like, shit, these boys from New Jersey are doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We've been kind of hanging low. We got a single. We're probably going to start recording early to mid-February, start doing the drum tracking and everything. And I think the move we're going to go with now, just because, the state of the world and everything, we're probably just going to be releasing singles, just like throw out a single every few months.
Mm-hmm.
We all have other projects we've been kind of focusing on more just because, we released that EP last year and haven't really been able to do too much work with it. So we got these songs written. We're just kind of like getting them all tight and everything. And like I said, in the next few weeks, probably we'll hit, we'll start recording drums and adding everything in and getting it all together. So it's the state of Kong is we're working on shit. We got shit in the works.
Yeah. How do you feel about the handful or so of bands and artists that are sort of moving toward a single / EP centric approach to releasing albums? So you've got like Acacia Strain, obviously. Sleep Token
awesome.
did it. Sleep Token did it. Yeah, I mean, that record was great. I know that Bring Me the Horizon is ostensibly doing it, even though their EP was the length of an album. So, you know, whatever.
No, but most of those songs were singles anyway, right? Like, weren't like 5 of those songs already released? Yeah.
I think 4 at least.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on like releasing your album in bite-sized chunks, and then when they're all out, then you have an album.
I think for bigger bands, that's definitely a really cool move. Like the Acacia Strain thing was fucking awesome. Good Tiger was another one that did that. Good Tiger released their whole album like a week before it came out. If you guys listen to, do you guys listen to them at all?
Yeah. Good
I
They
times,
haven't
did.
heard them yet.
Remember, like in whatever month it was, like May or something, they released a video every week for a new
Yeah.
song, and I did the math because like I pre-ordered the album, and I was like, this album's gonna be out 2 weeks before the whole album is like released. What the why? Like,
Yeah.
but I think it's cool for bigger bands. Like it's more content, more money to be made in reality. Like, and I guess like a lot of stuff. It's like a lot of experimentation. I think like you have a band like Acacia Strain we mentioned where they did that It Comes in Waves release. That was like the end of 2019, and that was like, you know, an EP that was like very experimental, and they just kind of released it. And then Gate Creeper just a few weeks ago, they did that EP again, which was very experimental and not like Gate Creeper. So I think it's a lot of bands experimenting and not really wanting to dedicate this new unique sound to a full length, because I feel like that could freak out fans.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like if Gate Creeper released their grindcore doom metal EP as a full-length album, as like the official third Gate Creeper album, I think a lot of fans would have been like, what the fuck is this, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's like, yeah. So I'm a
Yeah.
fan of it, and I think like my new project, I think we're kind of doing the same thing. Like we're working on an EP, and then we plan on doing a lot of singles and splits with other artists, just so when it's time to release a full length and we have all these different ideas and like different styles that we want in our sound, if we get any sort of following before we do a full length, nothing will really be new. Like people are like, oh, this doesn't sound like them. It's like, well, we did this a year ago on this on this single with this band, and you know, like it's just kind of a cool like growing thing, I feel, before a full length. That's my long-winded answer.
Yeah, I thought that worked really well with the Bring Me the Horizon album.
Yeah.
Because obviously they were less metal last album, and now this one they released what were some of those first singles, Chris, that hit like super hard?
The first one was
Parasite Eve.
Ludens.
Yes.
Parasite Eve, Ludens,
Obey.
and Obey, and then ultimately they did what is that one called that's basically a Linkin Park song?
Teardrops?
Yeah, Teardrops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though I think that the Kingslayer is like definitely the best song, my favorite song on that record.
Yes, that's my favorite song too.
Yeah.
I might like Dear Diary a little more, but both of those songs were really fucking good.
Yeah. I did not anticipate a fucking like Kerry King solo on Dear Diary.
Yeah. Like I was expecting anything, because like you said, Amo, I loved that album, but it was a synth pop record. It was a techno album basically. But like after hearing that, I was like, okay, so Bring Me the Horizon isn't Bring Me the Horizon anymore. I accept it. And then they released what was it called, like Post-Human Survival Horror.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this sounds like Sempiternal kind of. Like these songs could be on Sempiternal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just was not expecting a collab with Baby Metal.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And like I don't even like Baby Metal, but it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that was like the first time I've genuinely enjoyed Baby Metal.
Yeah.
You know, no offense to the people who love them, but it's just not for me. That also reminds me that I don't know if there's anything else to add to this, but Amy Lee has had a couple of good features this year.
Count.
Yeah, with Body Count and then with Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh yeah, she was on the Bring Me the Horizon song.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And I don't know. It's just I kind of forgot that Evanescence existed, like outside of the memes, you know. So that's cool because she really is a very, very talented vocalist. I actually feel bad that Evanescence got like memed into oblivion.
Yeah. Well, they have an album coming out in like the next couple months.
Oh, do they?
New album, yeah.
Yeah, this last year they released a single, and I remember I absolutely hated it.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I don't necessarily hate Evanescence. I remember before they were a meme, they had some bangers that Call Me When You're Sober.
Yeah.
That song was cool. Lithium, that was a nice song. My Immortal. They had some cool songs back in like 2006, man. But
yeah,
you know, then they got memed.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're also at a point where things that were popular in early 2000s just seem so out of style now and just so cringy, even though it was like hard hitting and popular. It's just, I think we're in the 2020s, stuff 20 years ago was just, it's cringe. And I bet that happened in the early 2000s. I bet some of the
new
80s
metal
stuff.
Oh, the new 80s stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like, even like, it just kind of proves that like those bands, like that song is so like, it kind of became a meme because everyone knows that song.
Yeah.
And like, that's a pretty good song if you like, so it's kind of like the absurdity of like, why is Evanescence in this random music video? Or like, why is it in this Vine, you know? But it was like, that's sick. And that, what was his name? John Sudano? Or that was the All-Star guy. That was, he did All-Star and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All-Star by Smash Mouth.
Somehow new metal has, it feels like, to me anyway, new metal has like just barely avoided that fate, just kind of like, obviously Limp Bizkit is treated as a joke now and everything, but like Slipknot and Korn and whatnot, you know, they were wearing the Jinko jeans too, okay, and they kind of got away with it. But there's just something about like early 2000s rock that stuff is super catchy, but it's just become so heavily associated with like, I don't know, like Nickelback having a song in a Spider-Man movie.
I think new metal is such an interesting genre of music because all of the bands sound different, and with the exception of like Limp Bizkit and Korn, the bands that like survived the 90s and early 2000s don't sound new metal at all. Like even if you look at Iowa by Slipknot, that's a death metal album. Like that's not new metal. Like that's that's a death metal album with like some hip hop influenced drum beats sometimes and some clean singing. Deftones, Around the Fur, that's like a goth rock album.
Yeah.
There's like it's weird. Like System of a Down was lumped into that. But other than having like being down tuned and having like some crazy fast vocals, that's not nothing, and like groovy and percussive, there's nothing really new metal about them, especially by the time they got onto Toxicity.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that's a major component of it, because I think a lot of what has gotten these bands memed into oblivion is really just their aesthetic, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that the shared aesthetic was acknowledged even at the time, because like you're saying, I mean, Deftones and System of a Down, I would never put them in the same genre if we hadn't already done it. and
it's just kind of like society says that this is new metal because they're heavy and from the late 90s. Kind of like I've been listening to a lot of grunge lately because, like I said, I've been doing those grunge videos. Mm-hmm. And like the four bands that I'm focusing on really don't sound anything alike other than like, I don't know, like the four bands like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Nirvana, and Alice in Chains. Mm-hmm. Soundgarden and Alice in Chains a little bit, but still, like they all have their own really, really, really unique style. So it's just kind of, I think it's more of like a societal thing and like an image thing, like you were saying.
Yeah. There's definitely an aesthetic to the grunge thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, I guess aesthetics like in people's memories must be really, really powerful, because I know lots of people have told jokes about how they think like all grunge vocalists are Eddie Vedder. Like you just, like I know there are a lot of that genuinely have gotten it stuck in their head, not as like a serious thought, but as a thought that they actually believe that like literally every grunge band was just unintelligible vowels all the time.
Them and like Kurt Cobain, him and Kurt Cobain were really good at just going mumbling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that Weird Al video, if you ever saw that.
Okay, so something I wanted to ask everybody is, what is the hardest hitting song? It can be a single or whatever from 2020. The song that slaps the most of 2020. I'll kick us off.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big question, man.
I know. Okay. I'm gonna have to say, coming in at number one would be Demolisher Okay, I know that's a
Okay.
basic bitch answer. Okay,
No.
but when I first heard it, I mean, just jaw to the floor and just, I mean, Jesus. So Demolisher for me, but some of my honorable mentions would be Holy Roller. I want to probably say Akudama from the new Alpha Wolf record, and probably Kingslayer from the Bring Me the Horizon album.
Okay.
Those are going to be my songs that I think slap the hardest. Oh, and then Heavy is the Head that falls with the weight of 1,000 thoughts from the Loathe record. That crazy one that Chris was talking about earlier.
The paragraph, yeah. ...
I
mean, that one just absolutely destroys you.
Yeah, it does. So I'm gonna cheat, Connor, and I'm gonna pick a song that came out like very late 2019, but I didn't hear it until 2020.
Fair,
and I'm just going to interpret It Slaps as just like viscerally heavy. Like you have like an emotional reaction, right? It's Meth Witch's Burn Victim.
Okay.
Have you heard that song?
I know Meth Witch.
Yeah.
I may know that song, but like I've been on the Meth Witch Bandcamp quite a few times.
Yeah. Well, I had never heard the band before. And Connor, if you're not familiar, it's like, I mean, I want to just call it methcore, you know, haha. But it's like, it's like a marriage of deathcore and mathcore. And it's really rough around the edges. And the guy does a whole lot of whistle tone screeches. So yeah, I don't know. And you don't hear the whistle tone very often. So when you do, it's kind of like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my decisive answer.
Solid.
All right. I don't know, man. First thing that came to mind was those 2 Napalm Death singles. The Backlash Just Because, and the like Belly Full of Salt and Spleen, or whatever that song was. 2 very different songs, but both were just like absolute. Or no, my real answer. Fucking Year of the Knife, and the name of the song was like Virtual Narcotic or something.
Yeah.
Very okay album. That song was fucking sick.
Yeah.
I think I did like a reaction video to that song. And all day, the singer in my band was like, dude, you gotta check out the new Year of the Knife. I was like, I'll do a video for it. Fuck it. I'm like okay with them. I'm not the biggest fan of theirs. And that song was like if Entombed was a hardcore band. It was so devastatingly. Or no, oh fuck, there's so many. I forgot. End came out this year, or 2020. Whatever that one End song that I reacted to. And Peragine, there was a lot of heavy shit. I don't know, man. It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Hesitation Marks. That's the name of it. Or Hesitation Wounds, the End song. That was absolutely devastating. That's my answer. Cut me off there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay. Another one that technically came out this year that I want to add also is Left to Suffer's song Loathe. And not the whole song, but just like the last 20 seconds. There's a vocal feature from the vocalist of Bro Job of all bands. And he does a breakdown at the end that is just so sick, like unbelievable. Like his gutturals are unbelievable in that moment. So I wanted to point that out as well.
What was the name of the band?
Left to Suffer.
I don't know them.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I want to say that one sounds familiar. I think you've shown me that, Chris.
Yeah, we were in the car that one time, and it's the one where there's a breakdown and then about 10 seconds of silence, and then you just hear him come in like, you know, like, and like
an even harder breakdown.
Yeah, with like an, you know, yes, exactly. It's a breakdown on a breakdown. Yeah.
So
Devastating.
something I would like to ask is there any music that you can't wait for coming out in 2021?
Yeah, I was telling Chris, there's 4 albums I want to review coming out Friday, 3 of which I'm very excited for. Number 1, I'm a Weezer fan. Fuck off, fuck the world. Weezer is the best band ever. Very excited. They just announced like last week they were releasing an album on Friday, and they were supposed to release an album last year, but delayed it. And this is a completely different album. So they're releasing this brand new album Friday, as well as the album that was supposed to come out last year in May. So like, I'm a Weezer fan. I'm excited. Yeah. The single they released was awesome. Accept comes out on Friday. I was never a big fan of Accept, but I figured, you know, the beginning of the year is kind of like dry season. So I figured I would listen to every Accept record so that when the new record comes out, I could review that and do a ranking. So I'm excited for that because I kind of got really into Accept, kind of. And Portrayal of Guilt. You guys know them?
I don't, actually. Yeah.
They are the most disgustingly gross, like not in terms of like heavy, like deathcore gross, like more like black metal, hardcore, grindy gross. Yeah. Very cool band. They have a new album coming out Friday. Hyped for that. Who else has new music? DT Bam. They're supposed to come out with new music, or they just finished recording new music. Nails. There's a lot. Mastodon.
Oh,
maybe
shoot,
Gojira.
really?
Mastodon's in the studio now, so I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie in a couple months. There's a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So since we brought up Weezer, and I'll preface this by saying I really like Weezer too.
Nice.
I don't
few and far between.
Yeah. So with that said, I want to ask you about a particular criticism that I hear of Weezer pretty regularly on the internet, which is that Rivers Cuomo suffers from Peter Pan syndrome, which is that Weezer and bands like them, they write lyrics for people who are just way out of their own age range, like way younger than them. And I feel like I wanted to get your opinion on that criticism because obviously this year MGK just came out with a pop punk record.
Fuck that album.
I know. that is quite literally like he's in high school. And so I guess I just want to like scan your opinion on like when and when not that criticism is valid.
When the music's good, it's okay. Weezer, there's nothing wrong with Rivers Cuomo writing innocent adolescent love songs. Look at AC/DC. They've been doing it since they were 50. They've been doing it from age 20 to however fucking old they are now. No, like I think Rivers, it's an unofficial autobiography, but it's pretty interesting, like his mindset and how like self-destructive he kind of is how he did the first album, which was like everyone loves and a lot of the only songs that people know by Weezer. And then he did Pinkerton, which initially failed, which is crazy. Like I wasn't alive, or I was. That was the year I was born. That's like within my top 3 favorite albums of all time. That's a perfect album, but like it kind of tanked when it first came out because it was too depressing and not fun like the first album. So he kind of goes into the opposite direction and made the Green album, which was much more pop friendly and everything. And that got huge. So then he was like, oh, people like us again. I could be honest with my music again. And then released Maladroit, which kind of tanked in comparison. So it was like, oh shit, no one likes me. Let me make a really fun pop album. And then he made Make Believe, which was a huge hit, which had like specifically Beverly Hills on it. And then he did what he wanted to do, and then he released it. Like it's kind of like forever. Like it's a weird it's a weird thing. But like I love him for it. But at the same time, it's kind of sketchy. But like I said, as long as it's good, it's fucking good. Like they have one album that I just don't like. Everything else I could at least enjoy all the way through. So there's that. The MGK record. I have feelings about that album. I have friends that think it's like the most revolutionary thing in the history of music.
Yeah.
It's not. That is a mediocre pop punk album. If it came out in 2004, no one would care about it when pop punk was at its peak. That album sucked.
Yeah.
But it's a rapper playing pop punk. Who the fuck cares? Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean anything. Remember when Didi Ramone made a rap album? It sucked. And no one cared.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I think that it only functions the way it does in the absence of pop punk. Like, I think you're absolutely right that if it came out while Paramore was at their height, like, it wouldn't get any attention.
Yeah. Well, did you see Anthony Fantano's review for it?
No.
Yo, he said, like, this is about as punk rock as taking a family vacation to Disney. And it's true. Like, oh, but Travis Barker played on it. I don't fucking care.
Like, I know, yeah. It's
Blink 182 sucks now too.
Chris,
no, go on, Connor.
What we're talking about now brings up a good point. A fun conversation we've had quite a bit is what happens when a band, they're blowing up like Blink 182 and they're talking about high school stuff, songs like What's My Age Again, and then they're 40 playing the same stuff, and it's just kind of like,
Yeah, so that's like an extent. Yeah, go on, Alex.
Go ahead. You go.
I was just gonna say, like, that's an extension of what we were just kind of talking about, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, if Blink 182 was making high school love songs and they were good, I wouldn't care. I would be like, this is a good song. Yeah. But they're not good, so it's like I don't want to listen. It's just kind of like this kind of thing is like when it's all bad, you could focus in on precisely what's bad. But when it's good, I don't think like, wow, this 45-year-old married man is talking about going on a date. Like, it doesn't bother me.
And to speak specifically to what you were saying, Connor, I think that if you've really, really fallen off, like if you're not making good music anymore, that's when it becomes kind of painful to watch a 50-year-old sing the hits, Yeah.
And I see what you mean. Sing the old stuff.
Yeah. Because at that point, it's not about writing like high school lyrics. It's about like just being like a ghost of the high school kid that was talented.
It's like the guy who keeps bringing up how good he was at football in high school when he's 50.
Uncle Rico.
Yeah, exactly. You turn into the Uncle Rico of
Well, you gotta think of bands like I had an example in my head, but it's gone now.
Oh, Pierce the Veil.
It's gone. What about Pierce the Veil?
Their lead singer still tries to dress like he's 18.
Oh yeah. No, who I was thinking of is fucking 65-year-old Gene Simmons still singing Christine 16 like it wasn't creepy when he was 25. Like, that song's about stalking a teenage girl leaving school. Like,
oh yeah,
come on, Gene. Not a good look, man.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it doesn't help that he just like comes off as such a sleazy salesman too.
Oh, but, he sucks.
Yeah, he's the worst, dude. Before we get too far away from it, and it feels cool to get back to it, I do want to ask your opinion on MGK's hot take about comfortable shoes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, in that case, we will not brood on it too much. But he made this comment about how it pisses him off so much that when he went on Warped Tour, all the bands there aren't trying to be rock stars, which he boiled down to they're wearing comfortable shoes instead of Doc Martens or whatever.
Oh.
And I don't know. It seems like I think there is a more reasonable version of what he was saying, which is that packaging is important or that aesthetics are important. But he was just so indignant that it kind of got him like, temporarily canceled for a day or whatever. But I don't know. But since we're not all aware of the incident, then we'll just move on.
I'll just say that Black Dahlia played on Warped Tour. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't think they were worried about their image while they were going on stage sweating and looking for weed.
No. Yeah, and then of course the other thing is that if you're the Black Dahlia murder, or if you're Tesseract or whatever, like who gives a shit what you're wearing? Like, So
when I think of MGK, I think there's this YouTube channel called Pretty Much It. If you guys know, You see their Bird Box commentary?
I haven't seen it specifically, but I've seen the movie, so I can kind of see where this is going.
It was the scene when MGK showed up in the movie, and the guy goes, "No, is that no Machine Gun motherfucking Kelly? The last person I'd want to see during the apocalypse is Machine Gun Kelly." And then he goes, "Yo, did you think Eminem saw this movie? Are we gonna get a Bird Box diss track from Eminem?"
Yeah, dude.
That's all I think of when I think of MGK.
I personally think MGK is trying to. He's really reaching to try to save his career.
No,
I mean, okay, because I think that's why he tried to start crap with Eminem and making diss tracks back and forth, and then he's like, I think pop punk will hit it.
no. It's kind of like the same way I feel about like guys like Post Malone. Like, it's really cool that they like metal and stuff, you know? Like, a guy like Post Malone likes metal, but I don't think, like, that doesn't make him good. Like, I don't dislike Post Malone, but I don't, like, go out of my way to listen to him.
Yeah.
I just think it's, like, kind of like his whole thing is like, yeah, dude, I fuck with Megadeth. What about it? I got clout in the metal community. It's like, I don't care. Like, my dad likes Megadeth. Like, it's just, like, I don't think Post Malone's automatically cool in the metal community because he has a vest with Metallica patches on it and could play guitar.
Yeah.
That's my personal take on Post Malone.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, at least in Post Malone's case, he's like miles nicer than MGK, or at least appears to be. So he can kind of get away with it. MGK.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah. But I agree. I mean, there's kind of this perception of like, I don't know so much about people who don't make metal music getting into like metal culture or whatever, but I know that we do have this weird thing we do as the metal community where as soon as somebody puts metal like adjacent elements in their song, they kind of get absorbed into the metal community. You know what I mean? Like with Poppy, for example, because we'll give somebody that we all agree their record was really good. Like, I think a lot of people have kind of decided that she's like a metal artist now. And I just don't know if that's true.
No, because she's released stuff since.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not metal.
Yeah.
But I do think we have a tendency as a community that like as soon as somebody puts distortion on their guitar or whatever, we just clamor for them and we're like, all right, you're with us now.
No. I think there's like a weird, like, I hate, like, there's like a superficiality, if that's a word, of like artists that are like, I'm gonna release a metal album now. Like, there's just kind of like, I don't know, that makes me feel weird, like, and disingenuous. I feel like one of my favorite musicians of all time is Devin Townsend. And he straight up says, like, I don't like Strapping Young Lad. I'm not going to play those songs. Like, I'm not angry anymore. I'm going to release a country album. And there's something like, even if I don't like that record, which I did, that Casualty's a cool record, it's like, there's like, you got to respect him for being like, no, fuck Strapping Young Lad. Fuck this album. I don't like that anymore. I'm not an angry 30-year-old now. So I'm chilling. Like, if you listen to an album like Empath, you go from a death metal song to a Disney song to like a shoegaze song, and like that's just really fucking cool.
No, I mean, so you're already pointing it out, but I'll just add the disclaimer for anybody watching. Like, everything we're saying about MGK and whatnot does not mean that artists are not allowed to evolve, right? Like, they absolutely are. And I have a ton of respect for Devin Townsend in general, but also for putting Chad Kroeger on the record and using him well. That's a man who really knows what kind of art he's trying to make and doesn't give a shit. So that's awesome.
I would die for that man.
Hey, Chris, you know what's funny? I just realized today we still have tickets to Devin Townsend that just it's like we still have valid tickets. The date for the concert just keeps getting postponed.
I don't know if we told you this already, Alex, but we were going to see Devin Townsend and the Contortionists in Nashville, and it was the day that everything shut down.
Oh yeah, you did say that. That sucks.
Yeah,
that's such a good show.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, and who was opening, Chris? That like other crazy prog band.
Hawken or Hey
Hawken.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that tour. That was coming nowhere near me, and me and my
Damn.
friends were really upset about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, Hawken released a killer record this last year
They
too.
released 2.
Yeah.
They did the sound.
Yeah.
Those were
really
cool
good.
too. I like them. I just don't really like go out of my way to listen to them, you know?
Mm.
Like, no disrespect, like obviously like they're an amazing band, but in terms of bands that like I like and listen to, they're like a B tier one.
Mm.
Like they're still good. I just don't like, I would rather listen to a couple other bands than
Yeah.
Hawken. But like that album, was it The Mountain or something? That was a fantastic record.
Yeah, I agree. Hawken is one of those bands where I never feel compelled to go listen to them, but every time I do listen to them, I'm like, oh wow, that was really great.
Yeah, I should listen to them more.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I don't.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When I saw Devin Townsend the first time, like when he had a full band, it was Devin Townsend, Gojira, and Opeth. And that was fucking sick.
Oh,
that was
so
great.
Good. Yeah.
And then I saw him acoustic open up for open up for Avatar. That was phenomenal too. He's just amazing. Dude. I would die for that guy.
Yeah.
I would kill
both
for
of those
him.
shows. Yeah. Both of those shows sound so sick. I remember thinking I was really impressed by Gojira when we saw them live.
They're like super tight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I know that a lot of the stuff he's playing isn't particularly complicated, but I am generally impressed by Joe Plantier. Wait, what is his last name? Plantier?
I think
is that it?
Plantier, French. You're probably right.
Yeah, I'm generally impressed by his performance. I've seen various footage of him playing live, and then we actually saw him, and he's very on point with the tightness of his playing and his vocals.
So, Alex, what is your all-time favorite show you've been to?
I just did a video about this. What was it? Muse. Second Law Tour. Me and my girlfriend were on the ceiling, basically. And it was fucking amazing. The live show was just unreal. Like, their lighting show, because we saw them again a couple years later, and we said, like, let's not spend $100 and, like, look at a bunch of British guys playing guitar. Let's spend $50 and watch this huge light show. And that was just like the performance, the set, everything about that show was fucking amazing. This band Dead Sarah opened up, who kind of eventually became one of my favorite bands. They're like a really cool rock band, and I probably would have never heard them if it wasn't for that show. So that was a phenomenal show. In terms of metal, I don't know, man. I just did a video on it too, and I don't remember. like literally, like I was like when I was telling Chris, like I did a bunch of filler videos just for when new albums come out, and it's just like I don't even remember what was on the list. I just kind of scribbled down the first 10 that came to mind. But there's a lot of shows. Probably BT Bam, The Faceless, The Contortionist, and then The Safety Fire. That was crazy. That was like BT Bam played all of Parallax 2, which is their best album in my opinion. The Faceless on the Autotheism run before like everyone quit the band. Contortionist when Intrinsic came out, which was really cool and vibey, and The Safety Fire before they broke up. So it was just a sick night of a lot of notes.
Yeah, man.
Chris, if I had to guess, we probably have the same answer for favorite concert.
No.
Maybe not. I don't know. It depends.
I don't know. All right. Tell me yours.
So my favorite show is the Architects show that we went to. It was Architects, Thy Art Is Murder, and While She Sleeps. Okay. And it was in a part of what made it so awesome was not just the bands, but we were basically in a cardboard box. Like it was the smallest venue I've ever seen big bands in. We were packed shoulder to shoulder in like this 20-foot space up against the stage. And that show was just so intense, and we were so close to it, and all the performances were so tight that it was just unforgettable. I think his name is Laws, but the vocalist for While She Sleeps stood on me, which is kind of awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, Chris, I have to agree. That was my favorite show. Just like
Yeah, the fact that Architects came, there's like 300 people in this venue.
Oh,
it's like a bar venue.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so like that's and being like, we're literally, you know, right next to the stage, 5 feet from Thy Art screaming "I am hell" in my face.
Yeah. That was pretty sick. I had a guy. Something else I remember from that show is I had a dude that looked like ripped Jesus Christ was just beating the shit out of me the whole night, like just just wouldn't stop. Guy had a cut off Slayer T-shirt. And
typical.
It was and it was just like he dropped Molly right before Architects went on, and he was just all over it, and it was like he had targeted me or something. He just would not let up.
In terms of like small shows, I went to see, me and my buddy, this was like right before they blew up, was Code Orange on the Forever Tour. It was the last date of the first leg before everyone was like, this band's crazy good. And like I told my friend like a week after when they did blow up, I was like, we're never going to see them play as good as this show. It was, first of all, the lineup was Code Orange headlined, Jesus Piece, Vane, and Trail of Lies. And this was before like anyone knew Vane.
Yeah.
And all I remembered from Vane's set was that riff. I think the song's Progenitor. Doom, doom, wee, doom, doom, wee. I was like, that's the greatest riff I've ever heard in my life. Like, and then Trail of Lies came on, and they were just like a really cool, like 2-step straight edge hardcore band. Jesus Piece was violent. And then Code Orange, but there's a venue in Philly called, it's a church. It's a church basement. And like you could tell like that's where they have like their bake sales, but there's like a lot of sick, like I saw Daughters play there. It's just like the sickest venue, and it's kind of like a legendary East Coast hardcore venue. And it was just, I remember telling my friends like, we're never going to see them play that good. And it's true. Like every other time I see them, I'm 10 feet away from them. And you know, it's like a totally different vibe where that like, I was like getting choked by like microphone cables. We were so close. Like it was such an insane, like we were on the stage basically. That was such an insane show. And Daughters too. Like if you guys listen to Daughters, they're like one of the coolest bands. And that was like an acid trip for a show. Planning for Burial opened, which is like, if you listen to them, like, or him, that's like one of the most insane and emotional performances I've ever seen in my life. If you know him, do you ever listen to him?
Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
That was like, I remember we got there. They didn't even say he was opening. Like I saw him, I was like, that looks like the guy. That looks like the Planning for Burial guy, and it was. And there were like 4 giant amps on the floor, not even on the stage. And he just walked up with the guitar and just started beating the shit out of it for like a half hour, and just screaming at the top of his lungs. I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then Daughters came on and played, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, man. I have to say,
oh my god.
I was gonna say, you're totally
You're
fine, dude. I also have some fondness for when Connor and I saw Avatar. You remember that show, Connor?
Yeah, I do.
That one kind of gets passed over because like it was a while ago. But Connor and I almost didn't see that because the circumstances were we got tickets to see Avatar, and there was like a snowstorm that happened where we were. We were in the more mountainous part of Tennessee at the time, and we had to find a way to get to Atlanta. And I gave my ticket up because I had an exam that day. But then when like the blizzard came through, school got canceled. So I had to buy my ticket back from Connor's friend. And then we drove for 2 hours on an icy road. And actually like hydroplaned a little bit when we got to Atlanta. And then we went into this venue, and because of the snowstorm, like nobody showed up. It was like 20 people. And I'm not even kidding. It was literally just like 20 people. But Avatar played the show anyway. And it was so
played for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I love that band so much. Well, they're fucking Swedish. They're used to it.
Oh yeah.
They don't care.
True.
And I just remember that it was the same thing. It was the Buckhead Theater which is a super awesome little venue. So it's a small venue, like 20 people, and they were just like 2 feet from us, you know.
No.
Yeah.
Like Johannes was like almost hitting us with the mic stand, you know.
Yeah.
So
So
the coolest part about that show is the first opener was a freak show. It wasn't a band.
Nice.
Yeah. that was something else. That was really interesting. It was, yeah, we got so there was a bona fide like freak show magic thing that happened, and then there was Brains, which is like a southeastern United States, they call it what, psychobilly music? Yeah.
Okay.
Psychobilly.
So, yeah, so it's like punk rock with a stand-up bass is how it goes. And
when
then
was
Avatar,
this?
I was a
3-4 years ago.
I can't remember if we were sophomores or juniors, but it's been 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So that was like Avatar Country time?
Yes,
it was
on that.
That was the new album?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw them. I was at their first U.S. show, which was crazy.
Whoa.
Because I remember they had that album, The Black Waltz, and that was their like the album that kind of broke them into America. And they played at Webster Hall, which they played in the basement of Webster Hall, which like the theater at Webster Hall is a nice ass venue. Like I saw Dillinger play there once, but the basement is like where all the local my band stuff played there. It's like the local band area.
Yeah.
And there was like 30 people there because they were kind of like this band that they were just kind of like floating around on Sirius radio because like they picked up a couple of the songs off of the Black Waltz, and that was just absolutely killer. It was like, hey, this is our first time in America. I was at Venom Prison's first show in America too. That was pretty cool.
Awesome, dude.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that was a contributing factor to how awesome the Architects show was too, because that was their first Nashville show.
Oh, okay.
They had been to the U.S. before, and they were playing like much larger venues elsewhere, but it was the first time in Nashville, so they got put in like this shop.
Yeah.
Let's
test out Nashville, guys.
Yeah.
True.
And so, you know, that'll never happen again. But that was pretty awesome. Yeah. God, it's just a trip remembering that there was a time when we went to concerts. Jesus.
I know. Chris, for a while there, it was like, I don't know, like every couple months we had something lined up, and just now it's maybe sometime this year. Probably 2022 is our year to get back out there.
Sepultura released a video of them at like Vakken playing Refuse Resist, and I was like, damn, I miss concerts, man. That was like like that looked absolutely insane because like I love Sepultura, and like everyone was going off. I was like, damn, I miss shows. I miss this.
Yeah. Gosh,
it's a sad time to watch live performances.
I know. Like,
oh man, no, it's like the pandemic is like a Dante's Inferno style punishment for a metalhead, because like a mosh pit is like the least sanitary thing you can do.
I know.
And it's, gosh, I miss it. Yeah.
Did you see like Arcade Fire did the shows when everyone was in bubbles and shit?
Yes, I did see that.
Was all. I would go to that. That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be.
I would probably
awesome.
have to piss. That would be an issue. But like, I don't know how that's taken care of when you're in a bubble, but
that is a good point, man.
Yeah.
Because yeah, dude. Jeez, that's an anxiety that I have at concerts anyway. You know?
Oh yeah,
because you're like, okay, I'm gonna get here early. We're gonna get to the front, but also I have a notoriously small bladder. So how am I gonna deal with this?
Always, man, always.
Yeah.
Gee, Chris, that happened. I mean, me and Chris's first metal concert we went to was Metallica in an arena, and we got close to the stage. Yeah. But we had to hold our piss and get dehydrated all day, and it's the summer in Atlanta, so it was hot as shit. Yeah. So like we held it for like 7 hours or something. It was crazy.
I was just gonna say, when me and I took my girlfriend to see Metallica when Avenged Sevenfold was touring with them, because
that was the tour we saw them on.
Okay. Avenged Sevenfold is, or at least was, her favorite band, and she never saw them before. And like there's been, I remember she was pissed because there was circumstances in the past where like she could have gone to see them, and just like something happened and she couldn't see them. the date before was the Philly show, and they had to cancel it because Sinister Gates had a kid.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend was like, no, fuck this band. Fuck that child. But they made it up. He flew back in for the show, so that was cool. But I remember we got there early because we had like ground level seats. So we got there early, and that was like, I'm gonna have to piss during like Volbeat set or something. But I made it. I survived. I didn't drink anything.
Yeah.
That was a great show. I've seen Metallica like 3 or 4 times, and that was like one of the best times I've seen them.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Connor and I brought this up last time we talked to you, but it is just so regrettable to the two of us that the band we have seen the most just by circumstance is Volbeat. It makes me so mad. Like,
I've seen them twice, I think. I saw them on that tour, and then I saw them with Slipknot and Gojira and Behemoth.
Same.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Which was like, why would you put Volbeat on after Gojira?
I know.
If Slipknot didn't have all of that stage show, they wouldn't be able to follow Gojira. Volbeat going herb for 45 minutes. I don't need it. Yeah. And I'll admit, I liked Volbeat when I was like a sophomore in high school. I thought Volbeat was cool, and then it just kind of like I realized they were kind of lame.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you, I'll give him this though. He really, like the Herba stuff you hear on the record, he really does sound like that. And I did not think he would, but he does. Yeah. That's his voice.
You ever hear his old death metal band?
No.
He has I forgot the fucking name of it, but his band before Volbeat was like a Danish death metal band. And they were sick. Like he would do death growls and shit. Like that would bring that band back.
Yeah, for real.
Bring that shit back, dude. Like they did that Barney Greenway did a guest spot on one of those songs. That was sick. Like give me more of that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. God, it was such a funny show. Because you had Behemoth, you know, Nergal's like lighting fires and spitting blood and stuff. And then Gojira
like
got up there.
50 people.
Yeah, exactly. To like 50 people. Gojira gets up there and like, you know, they just destroy everybody.
Yeah.
And then you have the guy from Volbeat sings Johnny Cash for 30 minutes.
Yeah. And then Slipknot opens up with people equal shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Slipknot.
Dude.
Give me new Slipknot in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connor was so like he was moving so hard during Slipknot's set that he bashed his head on a folding chair.
Oh shit.
Dude, we weren't even moshing. We had seats, and Connor managed to hurt himself.
Hey man, fuck it. It's Slipknot, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the first time I saw Slipknot in so long. Mm-hmm. Last time I saw Slipknot, Paul Gray was there.
Oh man,
that was. What, 2009 probably?
Yeah. Dang, dude.
I miss you, Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, this has been super fun. Do we have anything else we want to cover tonight?
Yeah. Is there anything you want to bring up?
I have a new band.
Oh, dude.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What is it?
We're called Bestial Tongues. We're on Instagram. I was telling Chris I just got back we did the bass today, and we're recording a 5-song EP. We're like a grindcore kind of thing. It's 5 songs. It's like 12 minutes long. Yeah, it's like Evil. It's the same vocalist from Kong. He's doing it. And like I said, we're gonna release this 5-song EP. Eventually, we just have to record vocals, and then I got to mix and master it and all that shit. And it's just like really noisy, kind of like if you listen to like Pig Destroyer kind of grindcore. Pig Destroyer meets Full of Hell, but with primitive man kind of doominess at some points. Just like quarantine, I was just really bored and got really into grindcore. So I was like, I want to write some grindcore. So we got that going. So that's gonna be cool. And yeah. Hopefully that comes out within the next couple months. We'll probably record vocals next week. And we've been posting like teasers and shit of us tracking everything on our Instagram. So if you want to get sneak peeks I learned that even in grindcore, I can't get away from me being a prog kid. Cause like we have songs in 5/4. Like why the fuck did that happen? Like just like me writing songs, being like, that's really cool, and then me trying to demo and like, fuck, that's in 5. Fuck, this is in 7. Why am I like this?
Yeah, man.
It happens.
All right.
Yeah, but keep us
tongues.
updated on that. We'll definitely help you guys promote that.
Cool, man. Yeah, like I said,
absolutely.
probably like late March, early April is probably what we're shooting for, and then we're gonna do like a bunch of singles and splits with other bands from around here. Tentatively, we haven't confirmed anything yet because we're kind of focusing on this. Yeah, should be cool.
Yeah, dude, solid.
All right. All right, Alex, this has been sick, man.
This has been fun.
Yeah,
it has.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry that I'm in the backseat of my car. I'm sure this isn't the most. And I dropped the phone about 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry I didn't have audio for like a solid 10 minutes there. I think I finally have the issue figured out, so we're good.
Okay. Yeah. At the end of the podcast.
Exactly.
I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
All right.
All right.
You take it easy, dude.
All right, man. Thanks for hitting me up for this. And
yeah, dude.
I'll talk to you guys later, man.
Sweet.
Deuces. Later.